3, 2, 1.
What's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, April 11th, 2019. In this video, we're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about Litecoin. Namely, probably one of the biggest things you can look out for in terms of is Bitcoin, is Litecoin going to do something different at this point of the bear market than it did in the 2015 bear market, or I should say at the end of the last bear market. So let's jump into the charts and talk about this. For context, real quick, Bitcoin on the weekly chart. One thing we've been tracking is this, a very important indicator, which is to say this 50 moving average, this blue line on the weekly chart, the 50-week moving average, we've been comparing where Bitcoin is in terms of the momentum climbing out of this bear market to that last bear market. So back in that last bear market, Bitcoin finally saw a bounce off the 200 moving average. We approached the 50 moving average and we got rejected, right? And that was kind of that last big dip before exiting that bear market. So similarly, if we zoom in a little bit here on Bitcoin on the weekly chart, we can check out the same thing really has happened. Bitcoin has done a really good job in defining the bottom, bouncing off of the 200 moving average, approaching the 50 moving average. This is Bitcoin's first shot to kind of diverge away from what happened last time, and which was essentially rejection at the 50 moving average for a retracement back down to the 200 moving average around $3,700. Is something like that going to happen again? This is Bitcoin's chance to prove many short-term bears wrong, right? Many believe this is the beginning of a parabolic move for Bitcoin and it will continue up, but time will tell, and it's the most interesting thing to watch in the markets right now. Moving over to the daily chart to give you an idea of kind of what to look for in the shorter time frames. Well, here's Bitcoin making that move back in that last bear market and getting that rejection in that last bear market. What did Bitcoin do when breaking through the 200 moving average at that time on the daily chart? It hit a swing high. And when we kind of came back down, and at this point, the 50 moving average had already crossed the 200 moving average. But either way, Bitcoin failed to see support at the 50 moving average, failed to see support at the 200 moving average. And so if we look at Bitcoin on the charts today, we can see that would be our first area of support. It's the 200 moving average. So if we want to see Bitcoin diverge away from that pattern it had in that last bear market where we saw a really large swing low, we would look to see if we get any type of support down here at the 200 moving average if Bitcoin continues in a downtrend currently, right? So that's a really big area to look for support, is that $4,500 area. And it could be a really bullish sign if Bitcoin sees support at the 200 moving average. Good news from a momentum perspective is this. Bitcoin currently on the RSI coming back down out of overbought. You can see it in the middle of the screen. And on the stock RSI also coming down or below overbought. So will this continue? Are we going to consolidate even more? If so, and we do get a consolidation to the downside and we see the RSI momentum, the stock RSI come down and support at the 200 moving average, that could be a really good area to start thinking about slowly accumulating Bitcoin. And I'm talking to myself here, not you. This is not financial advice for you. This is just my mindset, and this is how I approach the markets. I wouldn't go heavily accumulating. I'd be anticipating further downside if we don't get to support a 200 moving average. But for me, it's a nice little area to accumulate when we kind of consolidate back below the overbought area. So moving over to Litecoin, I want to throw this out there. Same type of deal, right? We've been comparing the last bear markets to this move for Litecoin. And what do we have? We have the swing high in that last market after that 50 moving average cross above the 200 moving average. And if we look at the charts today, we see the same type of swing high right here. 50 moving average across above the 200 moving average. And the question is for Litecoin, is Litecoin going to see 50 moving average support? And that's right down there. We talked about this in the other video 2 nights ago. This is right down there at that $60 area. That would be a bullish sign if Litecoin sees 50 moving average support, because as we know, after Litecoin had that swing high out of the last bear markets, it didn't see 50 moving average support. It saw 200 moving average support. For that to happen with Litecoin today, that would be right now currently all the way down in the $45, $46 range if it were to see a support at the 200 moving average. So there's opportunity right now for Bitcoin and Litecoin to prove itself more bullish towards the end of this bear market than it did towards the end of last bear market. And that could be a really interesting thing to watch on the short term. Want to throw your attention lastly, and this goes for both the Bitcoin and Litecoin MACD. Whenever you see the MACD kind of getting ready for a move like this, potential cross the MACD line below the signal line, you have this momentum right here above the zero on the histogram, kind of cruising down, perhaps into this red territory. That's when I kind of just sit back, I chill out for a second, and I watch what's going to happen next. And I look for those support areas that we just talked about. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How are you making out there? If you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you as part of the channel. I will see you all in the next video. Have a great day, and God bless.